Hey guys, very good evening. I wish you all a happy Sivaratri. Let us discuss today's current affairs from the Hindu. Let me share the screen for all of you people. So what do you have in today's Hindu? That is on 18th of February 2023. So you have the following things: Supreme Court not to go ahead with sealed cover suggestions in Adani case. We all know this. This is regarding Supreme Court judgment on the so-called Adani, saying that the market regulator SEBI, has to publish the data of how the investors' risks are being saved by this regulator. That is what it is related to. In this, what is important is short selling. So Supreme Court of India Chief Justice has asked what is short selling. So it has to be understood that it is a method for investors to borrow when the shares at a very low cost, sell it and then buy it back. They will sell it at a higher price and then they will buy it at a very low cost and then they pay back their debts. That is called the borrowed shares. So in this way, they are going to hedge some risks. So this is short selling. That is only important here. The second thing is Sena's name. Shiva Sena's name and symbol was given to Shinde's camp by the Election Commission of India. So what is important here? Election Commission of India is the regulator of the so-called allotting the symbols to the party. That is the only two things that you have in the front page. Let's directly go to the social editorial page. Social security and the story of two budgets. This is about comparison of social security in two schemes. One scheme is related to Rajasthan government and the second one is Union Budget 2023-24. So what is the crux of this? The crux of this is saying that the social security schemes or social security allotment of the budget is decreasing year after year by the Modi government, particularly when it comes to the so-called MGNREGA funds that were allocated. They were reduced substantially, and then they have said that not only these food security schemes, the amount that was given to that also has reduced. This article has focused particularly on national security, national social security assistance program, where people will be given the so-called pensions. Pensions will be given to the widowed people, the old age people. So even as of today, the Indian government is contributing only 200 rupees to 300 rupees for elderly people and with persons with the disabilities. This is something very, very low compared to the inflation prices that is there in the country. There is no inflation adjusting in this pensions. As a result, people are living for 7 rupees a day, particularly this vulnerable section. So this is the case. So overall, the crux of the passage is that the social security that is being given by Narendra Modi government is very, very low. Going off the courts, now this is about recent statement by the Union Minister Giriraj Singh on MGNREGA saying that it should not be a central scheme, central sector scheme. Rather, it has to be centrally sponsored scheme where the states are also required to contribute certain funds into this. In this context, it has been said about beautifully about MGNREGA. MGNREGA was launched 17 years back. It has substantially acted as a buffer for the people who are living in the vulnerable sections in the rural areas, particularly in the off budget seasons or off monsoon seasons when there was no rainfall at all. For all these people, the government of India has been giving social security under MGNREGA, but now the union minister making comments that even the state governments has to share the burden is not that great comment. Now, why that is not great? Because after GST implementation, the revenues of the state has decreased drastically. That is the first thing, and GST compensation is also going to end this June for all the states. Even in this context, the states will be very crunched of their financial problems. As a result, if you are passing this burden of the central sector scheme to the states, then it is going to further make the things going from uh, bad to worse situations. Recently, there has been huge delays in allocating the work for the people who are enrolled under MGNREGA, and the second thing is the wages are also not being paid. And the third major thing is from this year, the MGNREGA scheme has been allotted or has been linked with the so-called Aadhaar-based metric attendance system. So in this context, it is diluting the MGNREGA program. Execute fiat. Parliament should refrain from a forum for free debate and discussion. This is about the so-called expunction of the remarks that is made by the opposition parties and the ruling government about Adani's links with the ruling party, though they were expunged. Now, recently they have said that Rahul Gandhi's comments were out of the line. It is breaching the parliamentary privileges. In this context, what you have to see is you have to see Article 105 of Indian Constitution, which speaks about parliamentary privileges. Codification of parliamentary privileges is not done. Rather than the article is speaking that by maintaining limits, saying that the parliamentarians should not speak something which is disturbing the government, that is not a thing of parliamentary system of government, because In a parliamentary system of government, executive is always responsible to the legislature. By saying that the member has breached the parliamentary privileges is something escaping the duty of answering to the questions that the opposition has been asking. So that is what he has said, and the ground zero report is man-animal conflict that we have seen in November 2022. So this is about the same thing on this ground zero report. The next one, this is the thing. So G20 Foreign Affairs Ministers meeting is going to be held in March. So that is the thing that you have Article 370C. Now this is something which is peculiar from Supreme Court, because Supreme Court has said that the 5-judge Supreme Court judge bench will be looking at this case in March 2020. 2 years have passed by, but no judgment was taken on this. In this case, this article is being written saying that the Chief Justice of India has pledged that they will look into this case as early as possible. Over 1,000 pangolins poached and trafficked in India in the past 5 years. This is pangolin. So very important from environmental perspective. We should know what are the pangolins that you have present in India. There are 2 types of pangolins. This is a mammal, Indian pangolin and Chinese pangolin. So Indian pangolin is critically endangered. Chinese pangolin is not that endangered. Sorry, Chinese pangolin is critically endangered. Indian pangolin is just endangered. In this context, they might ask questions about pangolin, and the major threat is habitat loss or trafficking is the major loss. Global slowdown path uncertain. India to decouple. There was recently a statement by RBI governor, a report of RBI that is called State of Economy. Just remember, the State of Economy is the report of RBI, and they said that what are the problems that India has in future as far as this economy is considered. These are the things that you have from the Hindu today. So thanks for joining. Let's meet tomorrow, and I wish you again a very happy Shivratri. Take care, guys. Good night.